good sign?
Oh yeah, they've been pretty good that way. No, they're obviously keen to play, I think, so that's good.
Alex Johnston slotted into the back. Will he definitely play?
Yeah, he'll play fullback. Yeah, he's just was pretty close this week, and we just got time to come out and train with us on Wednesday and see how he went. He was pretty happy with that, and he came back today, and he was good today, so he'll play.
Corey Allen, does he swap straight out?
Yeah, he takes Corey Allen's place.
He's been pretty impressive though in his start this year.
Yeah, he has, but he probably needs a break from NRL. The young players come up, they can't hold it together for long periods of time, a lot of pressure with it, and he's been really good, and I'm pleased he's going back and get a few weeks back there and get another opportunity soon.
Where's Cam Murray today? He's not out there, was he?
No, he's got a virus today. He's not too bad, he said. I spoke to him last night and this morning, but told him not to come to train today. He's pretty confident he'll play tomorrow night.
It'd be a fair loss if he doesn't play, given his current form.
Well, right now he's playing, so I'm not worried about the loss. Okay.
So, Wayne, you've been through Origin and club football 30-something times. How was it this year? Has it slowed you guys down at all? It's hard to manage?
Oh, it's a challenging time. There's no doubt about that. And depending on the numbers of players you have away and the intensity of the games and what other injuries you may have in a club, but it is what it is. It's time for the game to have a good look at it. It's 40 years in existence now. And it's been a great concept, and is a great concept, and will remain a great concept. But I think the game's got to look at how they can do it better with regards to this time of the year. And I think there are ways to do it better. They've just got to be brave enough to want to do them.
Do you think it's affecting club football a little bit too much now?
Well, I don't have the stats, and I don't, see who's going to games and the viewing audience and all that. But I know the impact it has on the club as one club. So we've got to assume it's across the other 15 clubs as well. And I just think we can do it better.
Wayne, have you thought about any options, any ways to do it in a better way?
Yeah, I have a lot of times, but I'm not administrator, so I don't get a vote at the table. If you're not at the table, you get a vote. You no chance of getting what you think's important across the line.
Well, you're pretty well respected in the games. Is there anything we'll listen?
Yeah, well, listening's the easy part. The hard part's the doing.
If the powers that be say, Wayne, come in, let's have a chat, are you happy to front up?
Oh, I'm not going to be hanging by my phone for that phone call.
What do you think more standalones, Wayne? We'll see one next week and see how it works again.
Look, it works because it's Origin. What won't work is if we get away from the state versus state situation, and that's we've remained loyal to that. But we've played games on Wednesday nights, Friday nights, Sunday nights. I've coached in a lot of those games, different stages, different times. As I said, we're 40 years into it. I was talking to Mel yesterday about the Kangaroos, and he wants to revamp that. Well, in the 90s that kind of all changed because the game was changing and things happened, but we've still got great Australian sides and great international competition. So it reminded me yesterday about the Origin. We're 40 years, as I said, of clubs giving players, clubs getting no compensation, clubs getting players injured, clubs getting players worn out. A whole lot of stuff's happening, and we've still got our head in the sand to say, well, nothing needs to change. Well, I believe something does need to change, and I believe we need to look at it.
And Origin with you guys, you got a lot of players. What have you thought about the talk around Cody Walker and maybe he'll come out after just one go?
Yeah, well, I'll be disappointed for Cody if that's the case. I've never seen the point in picking a player for one Origin game, regardless what the result is. He's particularly a player at the position that he plays. It's a whole different game than anything else I've ever played in. Cody hasn't even played in the grand final. I understand that, and I'm sure the first half he was trying to come to grips with the speed of the game. I thought when he came back on after the break he was wonderful. He set up a try and nearly set up the second try where they nearly scored right on full time there, and he started to come into his own. But it just takes time sometimes, and it's not going to happen overnight, and you've got to persevere with what you believe was the best team before they played Queensland. They thought that was their best team they had. Well, a week later they're not the worst team so they need to. Sometimes you need to stick. Sometimes.
When with someone like Cody, you've talked about Origin obviously being so demanding physically, and things have to change. How have you
demanding mentally too?
Mentally, that was my point. So have you had sort of much to say to Cody to guide him?
Oh, not
through this
really.
period?
Well, we gave him a week off last week, so that I don't think he could have played last Friday night, even if we asked him to. You know, I didn't ask him to because I knew he probably couldn't have backed up. So so that's all part of the challenge of it. But he's in pretty good place now, and he's only played one game in 3 weeks, so he's pretty well rested up.
Do you have mentally this week as well?
Pardon?
He's been good mentally this week.
Yeah, he's been good mentally. He's captain of the club tomorrow, so no, he's been good.
Is it a concern though? I mean, if he is dropped after one game, that can impact his confidence or his style or anything for the rest of the year?
Well, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, impact his confidence on something, but I hope it's not South Sydney. Okay, maybe the selectors of New South Wales or the way they run their business there, they might lose some confidence in that, but I don't think he'll lose any confidence in what South Sydney do with him. So.
Can that, in like a rep career, can that have a pretty big impact? I mean, something to drop someone after one game when, as you pointed out, he didn't even play.
Well, I think you know, the key positions that he plays, it has a bigger impact than it does if you're just to hit up forward, for example. You know, anyway, let's see what happens.
Is there a reason why you chose to select Cody as a captain over someone like John Sutton, who led the club to a premiership?
Well, John doesn't need to be captain to be challenged, okay? Cody's a young man who, you know, challenge of being captain will bring a little bit more out of him. We've got no doubt in that at all, but John doesn't need that. John does a great job every week, and John's had his day, and I spoke to John about it, and he's more than happy not to be captain.
How did Cody react when he told him the news?
Yeah, he was very humbled by it. He was felt very privileged, yeah. It was a big moment for him.
Adam, how's he faring? You said it's a pain-related injury with his back. Is he feeling better?
Yeah, well, we've given him a week off this week, so we haven't seen him. So because we're all going on breaks next week, and he'll be probably back training. So we just put him a week ahead. So
Wayne,
he's not pain-free, otherwise he'll be playing.
And Tom's on crutches at the moment. Do you know how long he'll be missing?
Yeah, Tom's about the same as Sam. They'll miss this game and West Tigers, and hopefully they'll be back after our next bye.
George had a bit of a break halfway through that session. Are you okay for tomorrow?
George likes his breaks. He likes seeing a change bench.
Does he like them too much?
No, he's not in love with him, but he just likes them.
Wayne, it's Members Appreciation Round on Saturday, and all 3 grades are going to be playing. What do you think of that concept?
Yeah, well, I think about the members a lot, you know, of the clubs. I mean, they're the people that put the money in, they're the people that pay to go everywhere, and you wake up one morning, you find one of your players is supposed to be going somewhere else, and you know, we just refuse to address, you know, things that I think are for the members. Is that, you know, you go buy your members' tickets, the season starts, you expect all those people that are lined up there to probably play the season for you, and at the moment, when you look across clubland, there's a lot of guys, you know, moving clubs all the time, and I just feel if I was a fan, it would dishearten me. So we value them, I value them, and I'm pleased we recognise them in one form of the game, if not in other forms. But as I said, you buy your membership tickets based on what you think your club's going to do, and all of a sudden you've got 2 or 3 players that aren't at that club and they're not even halfway through the season.
Unfortunately, Braden Burns is still in the rehab group. Do you know how far away he is? Is that a few
He's
setbacks?
available for selection for the West Tigers, so yeah.
Okay.
So he's on his last little bit of holiday.
Wayne, do you think that the June 30 transfer window's gotten out of hand? The player movement?
It's out of hand. I don't care what date they've got on it.
Well, that's the date.
It's out of hand.
Transfer windows or something like that, Wayne, off-season transfer windows?
As I said, it's you know, to me it can be addressed, should be addressed, and it's not. We continually allowed to happen. You see clubs, you know, lose players that I just can't get my head around it, to be honest with you. You know, why we're allowed to happen, and without, you know, respecting the game enough to say, hang on, you've made a bad decision here, you've bought the wrong player, or as a player you made the wrong decision, you've come to the club, you didn't, you know, you're not happy. That's life. You live with that sometimes. You just can't pick up your contract and walk out and have your manager on someone, or the manager, you know, even enticing you to break your contract. So yeah, it doesn't wash with me, never will. So
You guys haven't escaped the speculation this week. How's Dane been after the reports earlier this week?
yeah, Dane's fine. I got him to address the players this morning to tell them what his position was, and he's all good. But that's a good example of it all. Yeah.
You said in a report that you were happy to see him go if he wanted to go at the end of the year.
If he's unhappy here, and that's fine with me at the end of the season. Yeah. But he's intimated that is not what he wants. That's not his desired position. So we don't want to lose Dane. I've stated that to him. He knows that. But again, but regardless, he's committed to us and we're committed to him, and we'll get through the season and see where it goes after that. So it's the way it should be.
What did he have to say to the guys today?
I just told him his position. He didn't want to leave the club, had no intention, couldn't understand where the story came from, and had not been talking to any other clubs, that type of stuff. Yeah.
Quite frustrating for him on that front then.
Well, I think he's frustrated about it. Yeah, I don't think he enjoyed seeing himself a headline early in the week and the centre of attention over something that he had no control over and something that he hadn't obviously intimated to us. There'd been no conversation with us about that.
And are you quite confident, in terms of if it has been a distraction, that's now over, publicly?
Well, I wanted to get out today. I wanted him to tell the players what was really going on, and then we can all move on, and we've done that. That's fine. The players won't question any more about whether he's coming or going. He's told them he's staying and getting on with life.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you.